Hello, I'm George Hayes, and this here's not really so much a tutorial as I wanted to go ahead and bring up some ideas as far as what type of tutorials I can be covering in the future. Right now, we're looking at one of the things I created this weekend with my son as far as it's a procedurally generated map and the characters moving around. And the reason there's discussion on that is there's primarily two types of ways as far as for movement when it comes to you know characters is in regards to the background of or the regards to the background or whatever's the scenery and so forth like that and the maps and stuff like that. The first of which is what you see right now. The characters technically staying still and the maps being moved around them, and in this case, it checks to see whether or not the blocks and all like that are the type that it can move to, such as it can move to a doorway or a tile and stuff. And then the other type, which I'll go to and show you right now, and go ahead and close this down and open up the other one, is this one. And as you see the second green car here, the one now in the middle, I'm driving around in circles, you know, figure eight or whatever, and it spins out occasionally, messes up. But it's kind of a bad thing. Restart that. Doesn't usually do that. So, but I think because of the fact that I'm running with the frame rate and everything messed up because of the recording here with Java over this and it's not in full screen. It does have some bugs and issues with it, and it's one of the reasons I want to clean it up before I actually go and put the code out on it. The idea is to sit there and provide a different views as far as the way the games can be created. And as you can see in this case, the character or the car is being moved on the background rather than the background being moved around the car. Now, a lot of video games, especially when you get into 3D, such as OpenGL and DirectX, you're going to end up having the background is actually moved around the character because of the limitations as far as space and so forth that you get when it comes to how big a view area and stuff you can actually see and so forth like that. And how much stuff you can actually have on screen at one time, because you don't want to bog down your system by trying to put an entire planet on screen and everything with every single thing, and you end up causing your frame rates to drop through the floor. So you have a limitation. You move the data into the area, what's into your view angle, and then as far as like what you actually your proximity first, and then view angle and stuff like that. And you then sit there and display the front faces and so forth, and you cull off the rear and so on. But that stuff is done as far as on that. Now, the idea here is we're working with 2D SDL and you know basic game as far as two-dimensional. We still have two different types as far as ways of sitting there and doing stuff. One where you move the characters around, one where you move the actual background around. And if you're having much larger maps and stuff like that, which you could even do a car map even larger, you could have procedural generated car maps and stuff such as cities and all sorts of stuff. You could actually you want try and keep the character or car in the middle of the screen and then move everything around it, or wherever your screen view is going to be. Maybe you have another portion of your screen being used for something else. But the idea is to cover the two different areas and like know your feedback on it. If you do happen to want to see the code on this, I wasn't really prepared to actually put the code out on this. It's stuff I threw together. Obviously, there's no collision detection and stuff, and it probably still won't be when I actually put it out until get down to that point where I start covering that stuff. Um, I can put it out, I guess, if there's enough requests on it. Who knows? Maybe by the time I get enough request, or I decide there's enough requests to actually put it up as far as onto the website, that I'll have already put a tutorial out on it. Hopefully, I can do that here pretty soon anyway. And anyway, the idea is to let you know what I'm looking to cover and like your feedback as far as if you're interested in the types of stuff like that, and let me know what you think. Thank you very much.